What's up, my dudes? So we got us another reading comments video here, and I really do like this series because it's a way to directly interact with random comments out there when people don't expect anyone to read them or comment to them whatsoever, especially, you know, any YouTuber over like, I don't know, 1,000 subs. They think that you're never going to comment back or never reply to it or whatever, so it's pretty cool to come in here and do a series like this. And okay, so to start this off, we're going to be checking out a few comments from my MXGP Pro We Want Trail / Enduro Tracks video that I made a little while back, right? What the fuck? Okay, let's just start this off right here. So the first dude's name is Jesse Malak, and he says, how hard is it to understand? This is the official MXGP video game. Not Super Enduro, not GNCC, not SX, it's MXGP, right? And he put some more stuff down below it, but that's his main point here. So, like, why do you people continue to try to defend less content in a motocross game when it doesn't even have the normal level of content expected in most motocross games? So explain to me how the official Monster Energy Supercross game comes out with motocross DLC then, huh? How does that happen? If that's what you consider, it's a official Monster Energy Supercross game, it's a Supercross only game, but yet they come out with motocross DLC. How does that happen? Explain that, okay? And if they were all about whatever kind of game it was, like MXGP or the official Monster Energy Supercross game, then why is there any free ride tracks or trail tracks at all? Like, stop trying to defend less content. It makes no sense as to why you're doing that. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's pointless. It really is. To say that, like, what he's basically saying is, hey, this game is not titled, you know, Super Enduro or GNCC, it's titled MXGP, but that doesn't mean the game is only restricted to MXGP motocross tracks. The same way the official Monster Energy Supercross game should not be restricted to just the official Supercross tracks. Like, you can have more content than that, people. So you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here on some of the Milestone fanboys. Like, they will defend it regardless of what I say. They'll go all the way to the extreme of even defending less content for the game. Like, when it gets to that point, it's basically like I'm talking to a wall. It doesn't matter what I say, they don't care. They're just going to continue to try to find a little tricky way to defend themselves, but there really is no way to defend themselves. So here's another comment. Now, this is a dandy one right here, boys. So this one's coming from Brandon W. He says, you suggesting trail races in Supercross the game 2 wouldn't work. Do you honestly think Supercross physics would work on Enduro or even Nationals? Holy fuck. Oh my god, I don't even know if I can reply to this one. I don't even know if I can do it. So he goes on, he says, you have these videos of being Mr. Know-It-All, yet you think trails in an official Supercross would be so cool. Half your videos, you seem like an expert, and the other half of them, you completely shut your brain off and start saying things without listening to yourself. Let me just read this again so you guys can understand it. This particular part of this comment right here. He literally says, do you honestly think Supercross physics would work on Enduro or even Nationals? Oh my god, dude. Have you even ever played a motocross game? Like, I'm being dead serious right now. I don't think you have. Oh, this is so, like, maybe he's trolling. I think he's trolling. This kind of looks like a troll comment, but at the same time, it kind of seems like he's not trolling. So, I don't know if this is just a really young dude or what the deal is here, but oh my god, man, like, it does not matter what game it is. The physics should work on any sort of track that you have. It's not like just because it's a Supercross game, oh, that's Supercross physics and that can't work with any other kind of tracks. What the hell are you talking about, dog? Like, just because you have a Nationals only game doesn't mean you have Nationals only physics and you can't ride on a Supercross track in that game. Like, what? Okay, that's just a stupid comment. We're going to try to continue here. But that just goes to show you how some of these comments are, you know? It's just like they do everything they can to try to defend it. It's just like there's no basis to anything that they're saying. So here's some more comments from that same video. This one's coming from Ty Williston, I think. He says, good video, bro. I would like to see DLC bikes CR 500 two-strokes, and 250 two-strokes, 250 Kawasaki two-strokes. Yeah, I would agree with you on all that. Here's another comment coming from Bryce Bernelli. He says, I agree. I would buy the whole game if they had just an Enduro/Hare Scramble DLC. Woods Hare Scramble would be preferred. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys understand me. Like, I'm not even shitting on the game in this video like I do in some of my milestone videos. I'm not even really shitting on the game. I'm just basically saying, hey, I want, you know, standard amounts of content that's expected in most motocross games. That's all I'm asking for. There's literally nothing else to the video, dude. And yet people are still trying to find ways to defend milestone. It's just like, stop, bro. Like, do you understand? I'm trying to make their games better. Some of you guys apparently don't realize that. Like, you're acting like I'm over here on this anti-milestone team and you're over here on the milestone team and we're going head to head. That's not what it is. I want milestone motocross games to be better. I want them to be great. I want them to be good. That's why I make these videos. That's why I put the time in. It's not to shit on them. It's not to hate on them. It's to try to get them to realize, oh, hey, maybe we can just throw, you know, 3 or 4 motocross tracks and a few trail tracks in our next Supercross game. Oh, hey, maybe we can throw a couple of Supercross tracks and a couple more freeride tracks in our next MXGP game. Like, that's all I'm trying to get them to do here, man. There's nothing else to it. If we just all sat around and was like, well, yep, it's an MXGP game, so all they're ever going to have is MXGP tracks on it. Well, yeah, that's good, Milestone. I mean, we don't want any more content than that, you know, whatever. Hell, hey, it's an official Monster Energy Supercross game. All there is Supercross tracks on it. Well, okay, Milestone. Good job, man. If you idiots out there continue to do that, then you're never going to get more content, ever. I guarantee you, the only reason you got a free ride DLC with a motocross track on it in the official Monster Energy Supercross game is because of the community being like, hey, can we have a little bit more content? Like, can we have something else to ride on in this game? Like, I want to try to test these physics out on other types of motocross racing. Like, that's why they put that in there. If everyone was just content with the content, was like, oh, yeah, that's fine, you'd never get any more content, you idiots. Like, I'm trying to help the game. I'm trying to give you more, and you're trying to defend less content. It's just so stupid. Let's see. So I'm going to read some comments from my KTM 350 shredding video on MX Simulator. So Lucas Manson, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. He says, why are you in such low RPMs? LOL. So the 350 in MX Simulator is a little bit different. I didn't even really realize it like sounded in such a bog, you know, until I went back and listened to it, because I don't play MX Simulator with any sound. So, but I do think a part of that is just the way the 350 is. Like, when you get in the air on a 350 and you're holding it wide open, it'll kind of make a pretty high rev sound. But when you're on the ground, wide open on a 350 on MX Simulator, it really has quite the mellow sound to it, man. Like, you know, you can be wide open 5th gear on a 350 in MX Simulator and it'll sound like you're kind of, you know, half-cocked throttle on a 450. Like, it's kind of weird how the sound is on it, but yeah, so either way, yeah. And with the 350, you got to almost like short shift it a little bit if you really want to get in that torque of the power. You know, I don't play MX Simulator like by sound. I don't listen to it. I play MX Simulator and I shift on MX Simulator from the feeling of the bike, and I've done that from day one. I don't listen to the sound at all. I go from how much that bike is pulling. That's how I know when to shift, and I've done that so much that my mind has gotten so accustomed and attuned to that sort of like not being able to hear it but still being able to shift thing, that I can shift a bike right in the prime spot of the power most of the time. Now the 350, obviously I haven't rode a crap load of that, so it was a little bit of that. Like, if I really rode the 350 a lot, I would be a lot better at shifting it, but yeah, I mean, I was just running off of how the power felt, you know, how quickly it was juicing out of the next gear. That's how I was shifting the bike. So whether or not I was short shifting it or whatever, I was doing that to try to get the maximum power out of it. So, and my mind just automatically does that with the game now. So, okay, let's see another video here. Okay, so this is coming from my MX Simulator graphics test video. This is coming from Hazmaz. He says, the word you were thinking for was compressed or compressing. Yeah, I did actually mention that later on in the video. I don't know if you, or I did actually figure that out later on in the video. So at the beginning of it, I was like, I'm trying to think of this word. I can't figure it out. And then like 10 minutes later, I figured it out. So he's telling me in the comments. I don't know if he saw the whole video or not, but okay, so this is a comment coming from Black Snows with a 0. He says, clever thumbnail. Yeah, dog, I thought about that last second on the MX Simulator graphics test video. I basically went in there and like did a, where I pixelated like a first person kind of picture of MX Simulator, so it kind of looked like you're playing MX Simulator, but like super, you know, like old school video game pixelated. So yeah, that was just, I come up with stuff like that all the time, man, so it's pretty cool when you can like make cool different kind of thumbnails and stuff like that. Okay, let's see if we can move on to another video here. This is not even a motocross video here. This is coming from my video, What Happened to Call of Duty Zombies, okay? So this comment's coming from a dude named Josh Geyser, maybe? He says, Jesus, dude, try not complaining for once. Obviously, they tried to make the game more strategic and challenging. If you don't like it, then just play the original. I swear this dude lives off of complaining about every last thing. I got a good idea for you. If you don't like my videos, then why are you watching them? You told me in your comment, if you don't like it, then just play the original. Okay, well, I'm telling you, if you don't like my videos, then just don't watch them. It's the same, like dog, you got to understand, okay? They're not just making it more strategic and challenging. They're changing the core of it. That's what I was trying to say. You can have a challenging and strategic Call of Duty Zombies without having 1,000 different Easter eggs in it and having to do a million things and making it like a quest log. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to explain, but apparently you couldn't understand that. So, yeah, so Johnny Wilder says facts. So, yeah, either way, that was a couple comments off of that video there. Okay, let's see if I can go to another one. Okay, so this one is off of my MX vs. ATV Untamed Free Riding Greenfield video. This is coming from a dude named Sack Matters. He says, I played this so much back in the day. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys did, man. I'm really wanting to get back into doing a lot of old school motocross games and other kind of games. We're going to be doing that really soon for sure. Okay. So, a dude named SpongeBob 0209 says, finally, someone who plays MX vs. ATV Untamed. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people that do it, man. It's kind of like you'll get some of these other motocross YouTubers, they'll come out with a video on this game like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe, or once a year. You know, like no one's consistently doing Untamed, Unleashed, I mean, even like a live content. No one's even doing hardly any of that kind of stuff. They're just doing the newest of the new. And I don't know, man. I definitely see the want out of people for some of these older motocross game content and stuff like that. So I really want to get into that for sure. So this is coming from Hank Bonner. Pretty sure is how you say that. He says, yes, the MX games on console these days are terrible. They got a bunch of yes men people telling them their games are good, so no changes anytime soon. That's what Spencer Turley's here for, man. Like, I gotta come out here and be like, yo, what the fuck? Because it seems like sometimes it honestly seems like I'm the only one out here actually saying shit about this. You got so many of these other people that are just like, yep, okay, well, thanks for the content, thank you, appreciate you, even though that's 1/4 of the content that we usually get, thank you, that's good, that's okay, appreciate you, that's a pretty good game, okay. It's like, fuck, like, people, wake up, that's all I'm asking for, just wake up. Okay, let's go to another bid. Just going through some random videos here, reading some comments. Okay, so this is off of my Don't Land By Me, PlayerUnknown's Battleground video. Jake Cadillo, pretty sure is how you say it, or something like that. He says, I really like these PUBG videos. Yeah, I've been playing PUBG quite a bit here recently, like more than I ever have, so you'll be seeing a lot more PUBG videos in the near future. We'll be getting into some squad recording, gameplay, stuff like that. And then another comment was Trent Zaley says, play more PUBG, my dude. Yeah, gonna be getting to it for sure. And then Boo Bell commented, "What's your Steam name? We should play PUBG and MX Sim. I'm always on your Sim server." Yeah, I said that at the beginning. It's just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. You can add me up on Steam. I'll get you to the Discord and all that kind of stuff. We can play. Like, seriously, I play with just random people. It's not like you got to be like I have to know you or we got to have mutual friends or whatever. Like, I literally go down through there on my Steam's friends list and invite people that I've never talked to before. Like, I don't know them at all. They're just random YouTube fans, right? And I just start playing PUBG with them, like, straight up. So, okay, let's see if I can go to another one here. Okay, let's see about this. Right, so this is my MX Simulator, my custom track, Fun Island. Okay. So JGMX, he commented, "Spencer, decals don't make your game lag. Like, literally, one big object would make your game lag more than all the decals on the whole track." Okay, so I don't really know where you're getting that information from there, JGMX. I know you made a shitload of tracks. I'm not even trying to question that. But I'm just saying, from my personal experience, I can't, like, the way everybody makes tracks is totally different. I can make tracks totally different than you. Like, some people make tracks in Photoshop, some people make tracks in the in-game thing, some people put their own decals in there. Like, there's so many different elements going on here that I don't know if we can compare our two experiences with track making, like, directly, kind of like you're doing in that comment. I don't know if we can do that. But like, I'm pretty sure I replied to this with my own comment. But what I said was, from personal experience, I'm just saying when I overload a track with decals, it makes it stutter. I don't know why. I'm just saying it does. I think part of it is because I overlap them so much. So that's one thing. Like, some people, when they go in there and make MX Simulator custom tracks, they literally, like, spend about 10 times the amount of time that I do, but they never overlap a decal, right? They, like, perfectly put their decals on there where it's, like, perfectly spaced apart, and they never overlap at all. So what that does is they may have, like, half of the amount of decals that I have, but it took them 10 times as long to do it. So I just go in there and I'm just kind of free with it. You know, when I'm placing down decals, I'm just putting down decals. Some of them overlap, some of them don't. Right, I'm just kind of putting them down as quickly as possible most of the time. But that's one thing I've noticed from day one with making custom tracks. Like, seriously, if I put decals on the entire track, the track is going to have a stutter. Like, you can go look at my my Morning Trail track that I made. I'm sure you know that one, JGMX. Like, if you go ride on that one, you'll notice a certain amount of stutter on that track. And if you go ride on, like, one of my other ones, like Fun Island, or one of the other ones that doesn't have that many decals, it doesn't have that sort of stutter or slowdown effect to it like the Morning Trail track. And yes, I do know the Morning Trail has quite a few objects on it as well, but I'm telling you, like, when I go in, I think it's a combination of everything. It's how many decals you have, it's how many objects you have, it's everything to it. But I just know, like, when I go in there and start really putting a crap load of decals on a track, like, literally just that in itself will cause that lag. So I don't know where we're kind of misunderstanding each other here, but just saying it does that. Like, there's no question. From the way I make it and some of the decals I use and the way I place decals, it will cause lag if I just go in there and decal up an entire track on MX Simulator. So, like, you know, the full map of the track. So that's why I usually have to cut my tracks down a little bit smaller than normal. And that way I don't have to put quite as much decal work and stuff like that. So either way, another comment coming from Peyton Kays, pretty sure is how you say it. It says, "Definitely know how you feel. I had to build my Aztec MX 5 times before it finally saved." Yeah, that was some hellacious fucking shit I had to go through with Fun Island here, having to save it so many times and corrupt files. And there's a lot of weird stuff with the track making in the game where if you start really trying to, like, raise and lower terrain that's on the outside edge of the map, that's one thing I've noticed. Like, if you start playing around with that, like, you know, you're raising terrain on the very edge of the map and you're doing certain stuff like that, it will cause problems. So that's just a little tip to some of you guys out there. Be really careful when you're doing that. Just make sure you know you've got multiple backup versions of backup, all different kinds of stuff, and hopefully it won't do it to you. But yeah, and I've never had some of these problems before, but whenever I was going in there and trying to really, like, experiment with how much can I lower the outside of the map, trying to make, like, a lot of water sections and stuff, that's what caused a lot of the issues. So that's just one thing I kind of learned about it. But So a dude named Cowie Racer 438 says, good thing you basically stole some stuff from the SYS playground, but that's none of my business. Laugh my ass off. What? The SYS playground is not a theme park track at all. How did I steal stuff from them, dude? Like, what? How? Okay, that's obviously just a random hater. Like, Fun Island, a theme park track on an island, is totally different than a little playground track on a, like, standard woodland track. Like, dude, I have a water slide, a roller coaster, a volcano jump. None of that is on the SYS playground. My half-pipe section is nothing like the half-pipe section on the SYS playground. So what are you trying to say, man? I mean, it's not like that at all. But either way, you know, people got to find a way to hate. So let's see here. Going to go to another one. Okay, so this is coming from my new wet physics / rain update, MXGP Pro. So this one's got 23,000 views on it, almost 24,000. That got a lot of views, man. I really wasn't expecting that. Okay, so this one's coming from Rick Robinson. He says, why are you people so obsessed with the whips? This ain't freestyle. Don't really know how to answer that one. Like, obviously it's not freestyle because there's not even any freestyle tricks in a Milestone motocross game, which is another added on content that they do not even have in their motocross games whatsoever that I've never even made a video on before, but okay. Well, I don't understand why people get the idea of, well, oh, it's an MXGP game, so you can't have freestyle tricks in it because it's not a freestyle motocross game. Or, oh, it's a official Monster Energy Supercross game, so you can't have any other tracks in the game. Or, oh, hey, it's titled MXGP Pro, so you can't have trail tracks in it. Like, what the fuck is that mindset that you guys have? I don't get it. Like, why can't you have good whips in an MXGP motocross game? What's the problem with that? Like, we're obsessed with whips because it's the air physics. Air physics are a big deal in motocross, and they also are in supercross. And if your whips are complete ass, that's basically saying your air physics are complete ass. Pretty much most of the time, that's what it's saying. So, a lot of people like to make the argument of, why are these people so obsessed with whips? What's the big deal about the whips? Why do you guys care so much about the whips? When in reality, a lot of times, it's not even that we care so much about the whips in particular. A lot of times, it's more so we're just concerned about the air physics in general, overall. So, either way, that's about it for this reading comments video. Appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.